tight and just try to stay calm.
You're not getting any further.
Gotta put out the flames. I don't know if Maya has any fireproof gear.
No pain.
What's up, ladies and gents? This is Vornhoult here for another The Division 2 build video, and today I'm bringing you a different take on my Negotiators build. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So what I have for my specialization is the gunner. For a brief overview of why I chose this, it's because of the killing enemies grants 10% armor, which syncs well with the Negotiator's Dilemma, because killing multiple enemies at the same time really helps with this. And the every third reload is always welcome, and the fire rate is always welcome as well. So always make sure that you have the assault rifle passive talent on, because this build uses a named assault rifle, which we'll get into in a bit. And that's it for my specialization. Everything else here is pretty straightforward, so you can just check it out yourself. But those are the main things why. Those are the main reasons why I chose this gunner specialization for this build. And let's go right into the main build. So I am using the Savage Wolverine named assault rifle. So the reason that I'm choosing this, it's because this is my take in a close combat situation, and this is what I'm using currently in some of my heroic runs. And this is because this assault rifle has this talent here, which is perfectly close and personal. So for those of you who doesn't know, this is killing a target within 7 meters grants plus 38% weapon damage for 10 seconds. So that's a big increase in weapon damage. So as long as you're within that 7 meters distance, this named AR can be crafted in the crafting bench, and this can come with assault rifle head damage. And I've actually recalibrated one of the attributes into critical hit chance so that I can reach the critical hit chance cap. But you can have either damage to out of cover, and any other stat here would be helpful as well. And then for my secondary, I am having the Lady Death just for an insurance, because I'm doing this close and personal, so I think a submachine gun would be perfect in this type of build. For the handgun, for the sidearm, I mean, you can have any sidearm you want, because most of the time I'm using my primary and secondary. And with this build, I am using the 4-piece Negotiator's Dilemma. And a quick recap, the 2 pieces gives you 15% critical hit chance, 3-piece gives you 20% critical hit damage, and the 4-piece has the Hostile Negotiations talent, which basically what this does is it marks enemies, up to 3 enemies, whenever you have a critical hit on them. And each time you hit critically an enemy, this is spread. The damage dealt is taken as well by all the marked enemies, and this has 60% of that damage being dealt to all the marked enemies. So my first piece is this Negotiator's Dilemma's mask, which I've recalibrated the core attribute to have the armor stat, and then the attribute for this piece is 10.9 critical hit damage with a 6% critical hit chance mod. The reason I've recalibrated the core attribute into armor is because we are using this build in close quarters, so I think a little bit more armor would be really helpful in staying alive with this build. So you can get up to 3 pieces of armor core attribute, but I think 2 is fine for this build and for my personal preference. And then next up we have this Fenris Group chest piece that I have god rolled with 15% weapon damage, 12% critical hit damage, and 6% critical hit chance with a 12% critical hit damage mod. And this has a talent Intimidate, which we all know that gives you 35% weapon damage whenever you have bonus armor, and together with Close and Personal, which is 38% weapon damage, with just these 2 items you can get almost 70% weapon damage added to your assault rifle. So that's a big increase, which is really helpful in killing quickly all the NPCs. And my holster is the second piece of my Negotiator's Dilemma. So I have this with 15% weapon damage and 12% critical hit damage. The third piece of the Negotiator's Dilemma is the knee pads. I've re-rolled this as well with armor, and the core and the attribute for this is 10.7% critical hit damage. And the last piece of the Negotiator's Dilemma's gear set is these gloves, which has weapon damage and critical hit damage. And the last piece I have is this Walker Harrison Co. backpack with Adrenaline Rush. I've chose Adrenaline Rush because I don't need to kill an enemy to get that bonus armor. I just need to be near them, which makes it easier to proc Intimidate. Although you could also run Bloodsucker on this one, but I'm leaning forward to Adrenaline Rush more. So I have this with 14.5 weapon damage, 10.3 critical hit damage, and 7.6 critical headshot damage, and 5.7% critical hit chance. So that is the gear pieces. For the skills, I am using the Crusader Shield, just so I can tank some of the damage that's been taken whenever I'm fighting in close. And then I have an insurance skill, which is the Defender Drone, which I normally use when my shield is almost depleted, or sometimes I use it together with the shield just to keep the shield health up more. And yes, although you could also use any of the other skills like the Striker Drone just to confuse all the enemies and attract the aggressiveness of them. But I think these 2 skills work good with this kind of build. So if we go over to the stats, so you can see here I have 100,000 weapon damage. I have the critical hit chance at cap. I have 144 critical hit damage. So that would be hitting hard whenever I am in close combat and I have Intimidate and perfectly close and personal prop. And for the armor, I have 1.1, which is fairly good. I have 110 armor on kill, and all the other stuffs are straightforward. So yes, this is just a quick build that I've thought about. I was just playing around with this named item. So if you have any comments and suggestions on how I can improve this build, do comment on the comment section below. And if you like the videos I am making. Do like and subscribe on the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Keep on gaming.